You know,
I have a girlfriend that's like, I would never date a bald man. I'm like, what? She's like, they have to have hair. I'm like, what?
So the whole point
well, I
here,
have girlfriends. I think bald men are extremely sexy.
Me too. Like,
Well,
they say
anyways,
they have more
there's
than
like
one.
237 ways a woman will have sex with a man. A man will have like three. But,
Sorry, go to the finish
yeah,
your point.
but the whole point here is like, as the needs for hypergamy start adding up, the number of men available in
The
that
options are
pool
quite small.
start shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Welcome back, everybody, to the Glen Gilbert Connection, where we discuss relationship wisdom for the seasoned man and woman. Today, we're going global. I'm joined by three incredible Latina women from Brazil, Camila, Fern, and Viv. Two are leaders in the tech world, and one is a visionary interior designer. All three are in committed relationships, and they're here to share what really matters when it comes to attraction, connection, and lasting love. For the men listening, if you've been through a breakup and you're wondering how to step back into the dating world with confidence, you're about to hear insights that could change the way you approach women forever. For the women listening, this is your chance to hear how other women think about love, partnership, and the qualities that truly stand out in a man. Thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So let's just go around the table and just tell us how long you've been in your current relationship with your spouse or your boyfriend. And Camila, let's start with you.
Okay, you tell me. How long have we been together?
So we've been together for about a year and a half. Yeah. We've been together for about a year and a half,
All
almost
right.
2 years now.
Glad you're tracking that well.
I am trying to track that very well. Thank you. And Fern?
Yeah, so I've been in an incredible relationship with my best friend and my soulmate for a little over 6 years. So yeah, it's been incredible so far.
That guy.
That guy
over there.
That guy over
He's
there.
behind the camera, but he's here, just like I'm checking my words one by one. So
Well done. Yeah. And Viv?
And my guy is here in my heart. He's not here today. He's playing volleyball as he does every Saturday.
Yes.
And so we've been together for 3 and something years, yes, together. And yes, he's the absolute love of my life. I've never been happier with a man in my life as I am with him.
just before I get into it, this love of my life.
It's
I
a
haven't-
Brazilian thing. Is that that's where you're going?
Yes, I am. How can you tell?
Because I know.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a Brazilian thing.
I think it's kind of really tells how you feel about the relationship. It's really deep.
Well, I've never said this before.
Right.
I have never said this. And that, like, this is the complete love of my life. Like, we know when we feel it. And
Yeah.
he absolutely is. This is the first time I've ever felt this. So
I fully agree. When we just we just got married, so just like a couple months ago, and it was like this hard moment of you to write your vows, and then you have to just like, oh my God, I want to really choose the right words that resonate the real love I feel about this person, and I want to just choose the right one, and it has to be meaningful. And I feel that love of my life is beyond of just you loosely say I love this thing or I love that thing. You love many things. You love your family or friends. But love of my life is that as your person.
That's your person.
Like I feel like that's a person that I want to go home to. That's a person I want to cry my eyes out. But that's the person I want to grow up together. So is the love of my life. So I feel that it encompasses about everything.
your husband's getting emotional over there. Like,
I know.
That's why he's off camera right now. That guy.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's amazing.
course,
That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
When you
haven't heard that before?
When you started telling me that, I was like, I think I did something right. Sweet.
It means a lot. You don't say this loosely. I'm telling you.
Right.
I think
That's-
me too.
I think-
None of us.
And I think that when you say that, like I have such a deep respect for my husband. I not just respect, like an admiration for him, who he is as a human being, who he is as a man, who he is as a husband, who he is as a friend, who he is as a son and as a father. You just see the total of the person, and that's why, like, he's the love of my life. And it's really easy for you to respect a husband when you admire him, when you have such, admiration and respect for who he is as a human being. So, so that's why
He brings the best in you too, and
he brings out the best in
Kara
us.
brings the best in you as well. So that's another sign of the love of your life and that person that is your chosen person.
Yeah. Bring the best, but also sometimes bring the nastiness of your
course.
life.
I mean,
you have your lights and you have your darkness, and I feel like the person that is with you is equipped enough to to deal with
it.
both sides.
And reconnect well afterwards.
And the other way around.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like, we're just
100%.
stealing your thunder. Let's just go ahead. Sorry, we just.
But
We're just taking over. We're taking
speaking of
over.
You guys are doing fine.
No, but speaking of which you just mentioned, like I used to be very black and white. I still believe, like by my upbringing, I was very much like it's either black or it's white. And my husband, he's all the colors of the rainbow and the shades in between. You know, like so he's very open-minded. He's very much of
Very inclusive.
yes, and he's very
Yeah.
much of like no generalizations, no stereotyping, no like he's very accepting. So that has been a huge change in my seeing the world also in a different point of view, you know, and it's helped me so much, like become even a better person, you know, like just seeing
Yeah.
this different aspects and perspectives, never with a fight, but with like just open conversations.
It's a free
and-
of judgment zone.
Yeah.
You know, like you can be your true self.
Yeah.
And I feel that when you find somebody that you can really open up and just have a conversation where you're not going to be judged, you're not going to be ashamed, you're not going to be by any means like repented or just somebody says something that you don't like. You're just being yourself and exposing your weaknesses. You're exposing your vulnerability and that's totally fine.
You're not
You
in the
know,
defensive
You're
mode.
never
You're just like,
defensive.
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know what,
yeah.
I want to be this person that, you know, can just say what comes to my mind without thinking about and write the perfect
gonna happen.
ways and
Right.
words to say it
Yeah.
because everything comes naturally out. I love the way you said about it's not just black and white, but all the colors and the shades in between is because we know that you can discuss little things, silly things, being silly, be fun, being at the same time, sometimes you need to talk about
Seriously.
serious, hard things
Yeah.
that you have to just like, hey, let's sit and talk because
Yeah.
I need to get a
Yeah.
solution out of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it's great when we're heard. So bottom line, Glenn, this is your answer. This is how we know it's the love of our life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Summarize that.
Summarize.
Long answer.
Answer
And the
everything.
podcast, you know, like that's it. No, just
I was
kidding.
going to even say that, kind of jump in, feeling comfortable in the relationship to the point of where you're like, I don't have to worry about anything. I can be myself. And you said that to me once. You're like, I feel so relaxed
Yeah.
in the
Safe.
relationship. Safe is a
Safe.
really good word.
Yeah.
Safe in the relationship that you can express yourself without any judgment or.
And I'm full self with you all the time, and I have never had that. And I know I can say whatever I want, of course, being respectful, but like you can accept me and say, and we talk about it if you're not in agreement.
I love that. I love that you cover everything with the word respect. I feel that
Yes.
Absolutely.
this is foundational.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
like when you start building the foundation of your relationship, and
Yeah.
not just in a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend
Any kind of
level, but more
relationships,
in
yeah.
life, anything that should be grounded into respect
respect.
and how you really go build up all the other bricks
Yeah.
from that foundation.
Absolutely.
You know, like you should be close to somebody that you respect for, and then you feel respected as well, because that's when you feel that's what I trust. This is my rock. This is the person I go. This is when I know that I'm gonna find a resort. That's when I'm gonna understand exactly what's going on. And I also want to serve as that person for my significant other. You know, I just
yes.
wanted them also feel that the respect is founded here.
Yes.
So I love that.
And there's so many people. But I also think we think this way because we have been married before. We had kids. I mean, Vivi have kids. I have kids. And
Yep.
we do not have any of it
Yeah.
in our relationships. And
Previous.
Yeah.
previous relationships, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, in previous relationships. So we learned as well, right?
I have been divorced twice.
Yeah.
So first marriage lasted for almost 14 years. Second marriage, 7 years. And second marriage was more of a moment where like I married a great friend. He was absolute great friend, but we were just friends. So turned out that didn't work out. Like there has to be a lot more than just friendship in a
Yes.
marriage, right? Yeah, but then this one is absolutely different. But
Everything.
we learn from a lot, like from all the past experiences.
Yeah.
Definitely helps in a future relationship. So I don't see the negative. I absolutely see the positive. Like it's a good baggage that you've gained. You know, like this works. This doesn't work. So if there's any red flag in the beginning, it's like this is how we're building our foundation. Like nope, we're not going there. Like this is absolutely, you know, you have a better sense of limit of this is okay, this is not okay.
and
Like,
who you
hey,
are as well. I think through that journey, you learn so much about yourself.
Yeah, and you feel to a certain age that you been through different relationships. You learn, and you have to stand up and fall again, and stand up and fall again, and it's just like a grab your pieces and just put together to move forward.
Yeah.
And I don't recall this song exactly what song is, but I remember there was a part of the lyrics that like all the path lead to you, like I think it's Big Head Todd. Which, by the way, is Skip Seattle, and I'm never gonna forgive them for Skip Seattle.
Can you do that?
It's a beautiful song. I would just find if I need to double check if it's them, but if not, I'm so sorry for that. But the point is just like we are past 40. We've been in different relationships. We learned, we grew, and now we are in a point where we are very conscious about what we want in life.
Yes.
Yeah, and confident as well.
I feel
too.
that the decision, and you feel more strong to say yes or no to things that don't fit you anymore.
Absolutely.
Like when we started a relationship, when Carrie and I started like a dating and see each other, I feel that there was from both sides there was so many things that happened in his life, my life, and then we just sat in on a point that like, I know everything that happens to you, you know everything that happens to me, so we need to rebuild and be transparent about what we're building together, because we don't want to bring any ghosts from the past. We don't want to bring things that work well and you suppress for so long, and that's end up actually draining your relationship. I had 2 long-term relationships. I started dating and getting together with my ex-boyfriends and ex-husband when I was pretty young, like my 20s. I spent my entire 20s pretty much living in a not legally married, but married for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then one day we realized that, oh my God, we grew. We were looking through different perspectives, and it was a very amicable separation. Yeah. After that, I got married, and it was a great relationship. It helped me grow. It helped me found my career and many other aspects. But it didn't work, unfortunately, anymore. And then, or maybe fortunately, because now I have the person that I really love. Yeah. But the point is, all of those work, but they also brought you learning.
Yes,
And,
I agree with you. I think, every relationship should bring you some learning.
Yeah.
Positive and negative.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know about you girls, but when I was younger, I used to sometimes, like when I was dating, I would wonder like, oh, does he like me? And I feel that as we get older, it's not more about like, oh, does this person like me? But because we're more secure about what we want, we know better what we want, what we're looking for, and what we don't want. So then we start asking ourselves like, is this what I want?
Yes.
Is this what I need? Is this, so it's not so much about if the guy likes you or not, but it's whether if you like the guy, if you think that he will fulfill what you need at that moment in your life. So as we get older, I think we become more secure about like
We are.
Yes,
And what do we need?
It definitely
What we
comes
need,
in too, as far as like setting boundaries and making sure that both people adhere to those boundaries. Because if one or the other starts letting those boundaries go, that's where things, I think, start falling
Falling
apart.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning you can be okay with it, but then after some time you start either holding a grudge or you start like, so it won't work out. So transparency is, definitely key.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay strong with the boundaries.
There's an artist that said that like the theory of micro stresses.
Stresses, yeah.
You heard about it. So you have a chair that every day you sit in the chair, you kind of like, you hear this little cranky sound, and then one day you just don't pay attention. Second day is like it starts building up, and then third day you were so pissed and you have no idea what this annoying sound comes from, and then you break the chair in 3 pieces just to get rid of it. That's a theory of the micro stresses. You should not let them pile up. You have to just deal with the micro stresses
When it comes.
it comes. So, and it's same for the relationship. If every day you or your husband does something that bother each other, talk about it. Don't let it drag it.
I wasn't like this, right? I was the type that I went from one extreme when I was, younger, immature, more impulsive, where I had the need to like, I thought that way, like, oh, every little problem we need to talk about it. And then I realized that I just sounded like I was like
Whining all the time.
nagging. I was all the time nagging. And then I was like, you know what? I'm like, a man will only respect you when you talk at the right moment. So, and then also I started doing I started self-analyzing myself, and I was like, okay, this really bothered me. I'm like, is it because of what he did, or is it something that triggered me from my past?
Because you have your triggers.
I
you're
have my
right.
own triggers.
Yeah.
So I would stop and I would think about it. Okay, is this something I should bring up to him? Or let me analyze here if this is like any past trauma or anything from a previous relationship that really got on my nerve. And then I don't want to take it out on the person. So I went from talking about the little micro stressors and all the time to then just like really waiting for the proper moment to talk. And then And then I'm like, nah, it's okay. I can let it go. It's no big deal. No need to bring that up. But then that would still be like on the back of my mind or something. And turned out that after like 3 months or, you know, I would like make a list of the things that were bothering me. So I'm like, okay, we need to talk. Because then at this time, like the list had really grown. And then when I sat down, like to talk to my husband, or like, you know,
Here,
I'm like,
papyrus.
yeah. So then I made a list of like 17 things that were bothering me.
Oh, good Lord.
So he sits in front of me on the couch, and I'm like, okay, so this day, so his mouth and his jaw dropped, and then his mouth dropped, and then he's like, "Oh my God, I thought everything okay." He's like, "I've been living a lie," like, you know, because he thought we were happy and dandy, and like, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm like, "Oh, and this," and then he's just like, he was shocked, not shocked. I don't know the word to use.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, like,
you're shocked.
Yeah, it was
So
shocked.
what did you learn from that?
So he's like, "You cannot do this." He's like. He said, "You can't do this. You can't," like, he's like, "I'm thinking that everything is good. And then you hit me like for the past 3 months, you've been holding on to something, like not talking to me."
You should never hold it. I mean,
never hold
of course, you're not going to be nagging for little things, silly things. And I agree with you. Maybe it triggers you more. And then you have to understand why that reaction you have for something that could be very little. Or maybe if it's the persona you are. I'm very germophobic, extremely germophobic. And I assume that, you know, I'm the type of person that you're never going to sit in my bed. You're never going to use dirty clothes around my bedroom. If you just came from the studio, go straight to the shower, you're not going to step in my bedroom.
Okay.
And I
Boundaries.
you know, it could be boundaries, but because I just can't. It really hurts me.
I don't like that either.
And then I feel it's something that
shoes
I
on the bed.
always discuss with my husband. It's just like, for him could be something like, "Oh, you exaggerating. You no,
Cohabitation is super important, by the way, because a lot of partners love each other.
my husband
They
takes
cannot live
shower. Just
together.
want to make clear. Just want to point it out. He takes shower. He's clean.
You can be super dirty coming from the
No.
street. You know, we're like,
Shower
Carrie,
before
Oh,
come to my bed.
I just came for the gym and just excited. I'm just like, just step away from me. I just cannot do it. You know. Like,
"Oh my God, Carrie!" Like, you know, yeah.
I'm
He's like,
sorry,
"What are people
but
gonna
Sit
think
on the
of me now?"
sofa.
Like, you
Go
know.
straight to the shower.
So
like,
think about
that's a
think
little
about
thing.
yeah, but
Yeah.
think about if you hold that in like you were doing, you held that in, and it's like how that built.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, do we also use the expression here in the U.S. like give rope?
yeah,
You give rope,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so the person can hang
That's
himself.
corda, né? Da corda
Yeah,
But it's
so-
also, aren't you kind of in a certain way kind of betraying one of your boundaries? It's like, okay, something's annoying me, something's
I don't wanna
bothering me,
explode.
something is happening that maybe it's a boundary, maybe even something even deeper
But
than
you know
just
what? Maybe
that.
it was just an accident. Maybe it won't happen again. So sometimes I'm just observing to see if that was something, or if it's something, or if
Oh,
it's
this is getting
something.
really deep here.
No, if it's, I'm just observing to see like, okay, is this something that happened just once, or it's or I like to connect the dots, especially when it comes to women, right? I like to connect the dots. Like, okay, his friend did this once, you know, like flipping the hair to her side, like all over, like, you know, towards him.
Wait, I'm
like,
sorry. Let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's.
So like, yeah, right.
So the friend, or this is another woman? That's,
Should we talk about jealousy?
No,
That's
no,
where you're
just like-
going.
Yeah, that's the next
And,
question.
Yeah.
is
So here we go.
jealousy.
I'm not that jealous, and people are gonna be like, no. Look. So my husband says like, I've never had anybody as jealous as you. I'm like, me. I'm like, and I've never been considered. All of my girlfriends that has known me for over 20 years are like, "Oh my God, you're not jealous at all," and I'm like, I'm not. But for my husband, you know,
You're super jealous.
yeah. But then I'm
According
like,
to my
well,
sources
Is it
over there, Virginia's are very, very jealous. We're
is it
more
jealousy or
careful.
is it jealousy or protective?
okay, define.
You don't want any other women approaching your man.
No,
Of course not.
No, I don't mind that at all.
Is that a
But
question?
that's 50% of the
Why is it a
population.
no,
question?
I don't mind that at all. Not
50%
approaching
of the
another guy, but
how
yes,
can-
I don't
how
want
can-
another woman flipping her hair over to
No.
his side all the
But-
time.
Can I-
So what I always tell Camila is, you know, the population is around us. There's nothing we can do.
Absolutely.
I always suggest it's like it's not what anybody else is going to do. It's what you and I are going to do.
Exactly.
How are we going to react to if
Yeah.
a woman approaches me and flicks her hair? How am I going to react? If a guy approaches her and says, "Hey, are you single?" What is she going to do?
But that's
what I'm
not the
thinking
point,
of.
Glenn. The point is that that other woman is disrespecting us. Like, if I'm not there
Yeah.
and they want to do it, I'm not around.
But you cannot change her. She's she's an outsider. You should not let this person enter your relationship. I agree with. I'm on that point as well. It's just like I would be more concerned if your husband would give some sort of
right.
openness.
Which he doesn't.
And
He never did.
Yeah, no.
He never
then
did. Yeah.
I think the contract is sealed right there, and that's. I play with my husband because sometimes we travel, go on vacation, and I play that I cannot leave him by himself for more than 2 seconds because it's just turning my back, and then I see somebody hovering here, somebody hovering
We
here,
even start talking
and just
to
like
him.
talking and a drink and ha ha ha, and then I was just like, hey.
I'm here.
And then I just sit around and keep watching because I would be more interested on his reaction.
Right.
If he's gonna
Wait, so you
smile
sit
back.
around and keep watching, or do you go near and like try to like
No,
So Viv, I would
don't.
ask you, like,
Yeah.
so let's say you and your husband are in a party or something, and you know, maybe you're not standing directly next to each other or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're getting a drink or something, and you see some woman come up to him and just start flirting with them, and you walk up.
No, that's fine because she doesn't know we're married. She doesn't know, so that's a completely different scenario.
So
now,
if you were together, like,
no, now if they
chatting,
know
and
he's
then-
married, to,
Yeah.
like he's married and he's married to me, and one, I think like, come on, you don't have common sense, you have no self-respect. It's like because I know he's gonna be completely, I know my husband, and he won't even see it coming. You know, like it's sometimes the woman can be given all the signals and he won't even like catch it, and I'm on the other side. I'm like, oh my god, like you know, I mean, come on, like she was throwing herself all over you, and like you
and
know,
he's like, she was.
you know, he's like, what? No, like, you know, yeah.
Where?
That should
know?
tell you how much he loves you.
No, I know,
like,
absolutely.
He's so blinded it up.
But I just get annoyed when women have the lack of common sense.
That's kind of where I go back to talking with Camila. It's like it doesn't matter what other people do because people are going to have a lack of common sense. They're going to approach all this kind of stuff. It's outside of our control. But what I can do is just be like, hey, how are you reacting? How am
I don't get mad
reacting?
at him. Not at him at all.
Oh, yeah, so you just like
No, I
you
get
go after her.
No, I don't go after her at all. I just get pissed at their attitude. Well, depends on how, of course,
Yeah.
aggressive or how disrespectful she will be. But I don't get mad at him. No, like I will get
That's fair. Yeah.
mad at her, you know, like, oh my God. And if we start here with stories that we've heard even from friends, you know, like no mentioning names, but we all have friends in common and we have heard the stories of what some other women did. We're like, you're kidding me. Like,
Well, I think when we're among friends and especially his friends, right? Because they have some female friends, quite a bit, right, Vivi? And then they are being, flirtatious with him in front of you. That's really disrespectful. I agree with you on that. Like, those women should not be doing that. Like, come on now. Like, step back. He's married. She's right here. Why are you doing this? Like, that's not good. I agree with you on that one. And I
even
would
if you're
feel
not
very
married,
disrespectful
even if
too.
you're not married, even if you're dating,
It's your
like, you know,
girlfriend or
like,
something. Come
yeah,
on.
it's your
no.
partner. Like,
Yes, 100%.
So yeah, like I don't mind. So I don't mind at all. Like, and we have the kind of like I'm not in the like the control freak. Like, no, you cannot go out with your friends, or you cannot, So
Right.
he has his own activities. He goes out with his friends and everything. Now, some women would be like, so you wouldn't let your husband travel with another woman, like another friend, another friend woman? And I'm like, hell no. You know, like
Well,
not that I wouldn't let, but I would feel completely uncomfortable.
None of us, I think, would be comfortable with
Yeah,
that.
of course not.
Well,
I'll be like,
see,
I know.
Many Americans, then the
Huge
married,
no.
and then like some women, they're like, no, why? Don't you trust your husband? I'm like, it's not a matter of trust. It's like, why would you throw him in a lion's den? You know, like, cause
I agree.
you know, sometimes a person can drink too much, or one of the other can, you know, like it's not that I would say like, no, you're not. He's old enough, but I'm just saying, like, why would you need to put a relationship in
that position.
jeopardy.
Exactly.
in a
Why would you put-
hard spot, right? Like, why would you
Yeah.
need to be traveling with another, sharing a hotel room? And then some women would be like, well, then you don't
Oh,
trust.
share a hotel room, it would be.
The whole, I think I hear your point, is like, why would you want to put temptation into something
There
like
we
that?
go.
Why are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
making the temptation
Yes, yeah.
increase?
Make the
Oh,
situation.
I'm just going to go to a club with my friend and we're just going to dance with each other. Or, yeah, dudes, we're just going to go to the bar. Just
Get hammered and just have
get hammered.
fun.
We're just going to hang out with the guys and we're going to go to Cancun together. It's just a guy trip. What's the problem? You know, why would you put yourself or allow your other significant other to be in a situation where the temptation for something to happen
Yeah.
can definitely
Also, you think
significantly
that way
increase.
too, Glenn. That's so good to know, because I'm feeling here like I'm
No,
going.
not at all.
Like,
No,
I think
we're
if
in line with
if
you.
Camila like, I'm going to have a girls' trip to Burning Man, I'd be like, that's great. Good knowing you. You've been great.
Can I say something here? I'm just going to put a little bit more like fuel on the fire.
Sure.
Pour it.
So one of the things I feel is that like sometimes when men accept this behavior from women, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out with my girlfriends. And then she dresses up in a very provocative way, super sexy, right? She's only going to go out with her girlfriends and she's going to go out dancing. and they're all going to be drinking, going out dancing in a place where it's clearly a place for more like single people.
The guy
and
is
her
with
friends.
her?
I'm sorry.
The guy is with her? Like you're
No.
girls,
They're
just the
just
girls.
friends, just the girls.
Okay.
And then she goes out and in a very provocative manner, like and dressing super provocative. And sure, of course, like many people be like, no, she's allowed to dress whatever she wants. Of course she can. Yes, absolutely. But and then she goes out with a lot of people that are singles, and of course, then her friends are gonna have guys approaching her, and then like she comes home at whatever time. I mean, she's in a serious relationship, and why is she putting herself in situations where a guy can approach? And there's nothing wrong if a man approaches her, but sometimes relationships, they go through ups and downs. And what if they're in the middle of a down period and you're going out and you're dancing, then another person, of course, that's all mysterious, all courteous, all gentlemanlike, and and then you're already feeling, sometimes you can be feeling a little bit sad, and there's a person that's more than willing to give you their shoulder to like, oh, we want to just dance, and it's all innocent. But that's how things build and grow. So I think like you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation. And it does bother me when I see guys like, oh no, she's just going out with her girlfriends to have fun, and we have like this we trust each other. And for me, I just think for the guys, like, no, like I would want, and I tell my husband this, I'm like, if I ever did that to you and you were perfectly okay with it, and I'm doing something where you would feel disrespected in any manner, and I'm like, I would want you to say like, no, I'm sorry, that is not okay.
Yeah,
because if you
absolutely.
didn't, I lose respect for guys that are just so okay with the girls doing whatever the hell they want. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm traveling with my friends, and like, oh, you didn't even tell me. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm traveling with my friends when they're dating sometimes, like on a weekend. And then the guy's like, oh, I thought we were doing something together. Oh, no. Like, just that
I have
kind
other
of
plans.
I have other plans.
You're not included.
You're not
But
included.
can I ask a question, Vivi? Or you do. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
But don't you think that's a very cultural too? Because we are like that. Like we were raised, like how we were brought up, right? Our generation back home. It was very
It is
traditional.
very cultural.
It's very cultural, that
yes,
approach.
yes.
Like,
Absolutely.
I respect my man. I want to, I want our relationship no matter what. Not that I'm saying that women don't cheat in Brazil. I'm not saying that. But like, we're much more inclined to think that way because how we were raised and where we were raised.
And
right?
I think I came, like I was
Sorry,
talking to you about
I'm kind of
this.
confused. It's just like we're more inclined to
respect our
to
relationships.
respect the relationship
and, yes,
more.
Yeah.
with that line of thought. Like, I'm never going to respect him. I'm not going to go out just with the girls, go dancing. And
Yeah.
We don't really do those things.
So that's what we were saying, Glenn. It's more, it's more about our upbringing. And right
Yeah.
now, of course, here we're talking as, women, where the three of us are Brazilian.
Yeah.
But of course, it really depends. Like
Family values.
It depends on
the
how
whole
you
thing.
grew up, how your family values were.
Yeah.
The way, like my family, they were super strict, like the way I was brought up. So it all depends on our environment, how we were brought up, and the family values and our own personal experiences in life. So it's different for everybody. And I mean, of course, we're only going to say here like stuff that's anecdotal information. That's how we saw the world, So absolutely, we're not saying here that anybody's better than anybody. We're not saying here that Brazilians are better than Americans.
No.
Americans are better than Brazilians. We all love Americans. We're married to them.
Yes.
And we love them, and most of our friends nowadays, they're Americans too. But we're just talking about these cultural differences and how we see the world differently. And,
Yeah, what I was thinking about is what level of commitment or seriousness is the relationship? And for a guy, I would say look at the kind of relationship you want with a woman whose level of attention is needed. Like, is she on like an IG model? Is she liking to go to bars? Does she dress provocatively? And if you like say, hey, I'd like to have a relationship with you, just one-on-one or monogamous, she's like, that's fine, but I'll still go out and I'm still going to dress this way. I'm still going to go to the bars with my friends. I'm still going to travel with my friends. And that's when a guy can say, okay, I'm cool with that. And if you want to go do that, I'll be okay. Or it's like, hey, if you need that much attention from other people and not me, like, that's fine. This is where I'm coming from. It's like, that's fine.
I'm not your guy.
If you want to live that way and you want to have a relationship with other guys like that, I'm not going to be the guy. And that's something Camila and I
I may
talked
be
about
wrong,
right
but I
off the
think this
bat.
comes from times like when a woman needs that much attention from other people, that she needs to feel like she's that sexy and hot and people getting attention. I feel that there's a deeper insecurity inside.
I agree.
I think it's a level of validation
Yes,
that is she
They-
okay with
yeah.
getting just the validation from the man that she's with, or does she need validation from the
Outside.
man and him and him and him and him and him, and then get on
That she
social
needs to
media?
feel
and-
that she's the.
I think it could be a combination of all of them. And maybe it's something that is coming from early ages that probably is something that should have been treated a long ago. I'm not saying like there's people that feel happy the way they are and they like to be this way, and that's totally fine. And that's when I think that a relationship is also is a contract. You know, like
It is a contract.
It's a contract. Like this is how I am. This is how I'm getting into the relationship. You have the right of accepting or not, and it's up to you. But there's another thing that happens. We can probably talk a little bit more. Is like people have the nature of thinking that they can change other people.
No.
Forget that.
You know,
I think that hits all of us when we're younger. We're like, oh, I see what they
I'm
need.
gonna save this guy from drugs.
I think guys go through that too. Like, I can save her. I can help her. She needs
Yeah,
all this
yeah, yeah,
attention
yeah,
from other
yeah.
guys.
Yes.
Not if she's with me, she won't need
She has
that.
everything she
I will
needs
provide
on
everything.
me,
Yeah.
and that's what I feel like. If the contract is established and both parts agree that this is how she is, that's how he is, could be his way as well. I like to go out every Saturday to play football and get hammered with my friends, and that's my thing. If you agree, okay, cool. That's an agreement that a couple should preserve because that's how this is their motto. But if something starts to develop after the relationship, and then if you probably, at the beginning I thought it would work. Now it's not working, but I'm never gonna say anything, and then this starts suppressing you in a way that the back to the stress is feel like you get trapped into a relationship that does not work for you anymore because you start not agreeing with things. You know, you start not saying like, "Gosh, is this being a little too much?" Well, but I was this way when we start dating. So now, why are you trying to change me? Are you trying to
I
just
think
make me
we
different?
can make mistakes as we all do, right? And I think that may happen, but I think it's also okay for you to go to the person and say like, hey, in the beginning, I felt that, yes, I was okay with this, but I don't feel okay with this anymore. So it's not working for me the way it's being done. So I think maybe talking and trying to compromise something, say like, it used to work, but now it doesn't. Now I feel this way, like what can be done because I'm not feeling comfortable with it anymore. So I think like, and I'm sorry, maybe if I was okay with that before and now I'm not, you know. And
Now,
I feel sorry, I just want to point on
fine.
that one. That was another thing on this one. It's just like that's when there's another layer of sentiments that are attached to the relationship. That is, you have to be really mature to let go. You know, like maybe I love this person so much, and I'm just trying to really get into a point where I would love her to stop going out or him to stop going out, and we just probably good for each other and enough for each other. Or maybe find a balance. What's the balance? Okay, cool. How about you go every other weekend with your friends? How about if you go, I'll introduce another friends? And then, I don't know. I'm just thinking that could be something to be discussed. And then is the worst scenario when you feel trapped in a relationship, that you have so much sentiment and love, and you feel that you want to change the person, or the person is going to do because she loves you, and your love is suffice.
That's why boundaries prior to the relationship are so important, because oxytocin starts taking over. You're like, oh my gosh, I have this boundary and they're violating it, but oh my gosh, I feel so good right now. After 6 months, it's like, wait a minute. I'm starting to see clarity here. Oxytocin is wearing off, and oh gosh, I really don't like this, what they're doing. If those boundaries are established early, even before a relationship, I know it's for me, it's like I had to set these up first before getting into a relationship. Because they'd be like, okay, I'll let that go. You know, no.
So two quick thoughts.
Yeah.
One, when I was very young, and those are things like we learn as, you know, we grow and everything. And I was 18 years old, and, you know, I wore a lot of like little crop tops. And so I dated this guy, and he came from a wonderful family, a very much like traditional family. And I was more like in the sports mode, you know, and I liked, you know, going to nightclubs and dancing. And
Who
you know,
doesn't when we're young?
I wear
Who
like, you know, the tighter clothes and, you know, a little bit more revealing, right? Like that kind of stuff. And then he told me, he says like, you know, he looked at me, he's like, you know, you are so beautiful. He's like, you don't need that type of clothes to draw attention. And then he asked me, he's like, would you like a guy, like when you pass by a place, for a man to say like, wow, what a beautiful woman? Or would you rather have the attention like, hey, sexy, like just imagining you like in bed or taking you to bed? So it's like, what kind of attention would you prefer from a man?
Lust or love?
lesser love, right? So then that made me think, he's like, you're pretty. You don't need that kind of clothes to call attention. He's like, what kind of attention are you trying to call for who you are or what you have to offer as a human being, as a person, as a woman?
Physical, right?
Or just physical, right? So that changed me. Like, see, the way he came about it, he never said, you shouldn't wear this, you have to wear that, you're looking like slutty with what you're wearing.
Mature, actually,
no,
of him
he
to say
was.
that.
He was very mature. So the way he went about it, I was like, wow. And then one day, like, we went, shopping, and then he's like, here, try this on, see how you feel with this. And I looked at it and I was like, okay. And then I was like, wow. He's like, how do you feel? So I was 18. He was maybe like 2 or 3 years older than me, but he had a maturity level from a good family. That's when you see, like, sometimes how the influence of a solid, structured family comes from,
Really interesting how he was leading the relationship, and I hope that doesn't offend. But it's kind of like one of those things of where you were allowing him to lead you into an area that probably you weren't really recognizing. It's like, why do you need to dress that way? You're beautiful as you are, right? And we've talked about this. It's like,
well, I also think nowadays one of the reasons why relationships are not succeeding, because I think women are falling so much in their masculine frames instead of being feminine frames. Like, if a guy cannot be masculine, why do you want to be with him?
And let's just reiterate.
What?
You two, Camila and Fern, are in the tech industry.
Yeah.
You are leaders of men.
Mostly, yeah.
And you have to have a certain leadership, masculine frame mindset when you're in your jobs. But your relationships you take a little differently.
Well, my way of being masculine is like results, right? So here are the numbers. I'm in sales, so it's all about money. Mm. That's what we need to deliver. And how do we get there? So that's my masculine frame, but it's not really masculine at all. I'm not super masculine at work either. I don't have the energy. I'm very feminine. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I think that's a constant association of leadership and being a male position and a masculine approach, because in a leadership position you have to have a little bit of the aggressive, like a positioning to achieve things, instead of like a woman is expected to be a little bit more softer, is a little expected to be more laid back, versus men being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more short and such like that. I came from a computer science degree.
Super male dominated too.
Since my day one in career, I always been inserted into a universe completely dominated by men. And then getting to this one, and of course there's many ways for you to prepare and be inserted into this environment. You can choose your path. You can either be this little soft spot that nobody can talk, and then you feel always the minority in the room, which, by the way, I never had that in me. Thanks so much. Thanks for my dad for also raising me as like, you are all like everybody else. You're going to wash your car on the weekends. You're going to change tires. You're going to help your mom to cook. I was everywhere. So there was no necessarily this.
Very resourceful.
Yeah, this feeling of like you were this little baby girl sitting with your Red Bulls in a corner. So growing up into this position and growing up into this career kind of strengthened you a little bit to be in a leadership position. But I don't feel that this could be a masculine position. For me, it's more like a leadership position.
I agree with you. Like I'm very feminine, and I was a lot like you. I'm very resourceful. I always done everything. I never was treated like a princess. That's not how my family treated us at all. So to me, stepping in an environment there's a lot of men, and the only reason why I started doing working tech is because of money. I wanted to be financially independent. I mean, that's really what it was. I prefer to be architect or interior designer myself. But no, I'm like, well, how am I going to survive? It's wonderful, but like I couldn't figure it out how to make enough money in that career path. At least when I was 18, 19. Okay. And to me, I wanted to have money to be financially secured. So I knew I could take care of myself and my kids, which is exactly what happened in my life, actually. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I knew this was going to happen to me, but I always had in the back of my head, I'm like, what about if I do get married and have kids and he dies? Who's going to take care of them financially? It has to be me in that scenario, right? And that didn't happen. Yeah. He didn't die, but I did get divorced. And here I am with 2 kids on my own, and I am paying all the bills. Yeah. If I wasn't in tech, I don't think I could have done that.
Yeah.
But my point is sort of, you don't bring this masculine, aggressive energy into your relationship.
And I'm not aggressive at work either. I'm persuasive. I'm very like, even for my clients, which mostly men, I'm like, help me understand how we can get this done together.
Yeah.
You know,
Be factual. I think being factual.
very factual, very straightforward.
Yeah.
I'm very direct. If that's masculine, I don't know.
Actually, on the way back, on the way here, we're just listening some to the radio, and then they're just saying that the fact of providing short feedback or just being straight
So
to the
good.
point is the ultimate demonstration of intelligence. So
Clear sky.
I can tell you, men appreciate that.
Clear sky.
When women are like straight to the point. When I'm working with my
no subjectivity, just be
like
straight.
99% of my
Yeah.
leaders are women, and they're always like straight to the point. Like this
Yep.
is going, and I
Yep.
really appreciate that.
I am a terrible storytelling, and I recognize this because people have two drivers. Right? One tends to be
Yeah.
give me your energy quick and
Yeah.
fast. The other is just like involve me. I need a little bit more context. I need a little bit more of history behind the decision. I'm more on
Me
the
too.
side of like,
Let's get it
hey,
done.
Camila, this is not working for X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
and then what we can do to work together on this one.
Yeah.
I don't care what happened before that. I don't care
I'm
how
so
color,
much a lot
how,
like you too,
You know,
Fern.
and this end up sometimes as, especially there's a cultural shock when I enter into a American company that I work today,
Yes.
being in Brazil,
Versus
being
here.
a woman
Yeah.
in the tech industry. It just like sometimes we came across so rude, or actually taking us very rude because we tend to be
Straightforward.
straight to the point.
Direct, yeah.
You know, like where it's just like here, the cultural, a female culture is more like, oh, so this is what happened. So I would like to understand what you think, what's your vision. And then I was just like, halfway through, I was already like sleeping. I was
Sounds like a lot of feels.
What is the point? Just tell me what's the point.
Like it sounds like there's a lot of feels. Like, oh, I feel like, how are you?
A lot of feel, I believe, I think.
And Americans love to tell stories. I mean, I
Yeah.
have never worked in an environment where I was like, can you please tell me the story? You need to be a good storyteller. I'm like, I need to get stuff done. What am I telling stories? I'm not reading a book. I'm not writing a book either.
I need a minimum context. I just
Yes,
don't need
sure,
to know.
to make good decisions.
Yeah,
but
I
you don't need to know everything.
Absolutely. I need to know
I'm
enough
very
inside
directed
to
too.
make a decision. But something that I learned casually, and then you start balancing, of course, in your also relationship is like how you approach,
Yes.
how you provide feedback on things that are not working, provide a good positive affirmation when things are working. And I think that it really builds up your relationship on things that you really appreciate and things
Yes.
you don't appreciate. And you say, don't let it cook. You know, like, hey, I don't like the way this woman approaching you, and then you're just all flaring back. So that's not cool.
No.
You
There's-
know,
So you're saying that there's ways to still be feminine and a leader.
absolutely.
Yes. And you got to find your own way, though.
Right.
It's not such a straightforward, at least to my experience.
I'm not gonna say that sometimes we hide in the bathroom and cry.
No.
that's we do sometimes.
But I would
because
be
you get
damned
so,
to
like,
cry at
"Ah."
work. I'll never cry at work.
No, never cry. I will never cry in front of anybody.
Me neither. I don't do that either.
I don't either.
So, from your perspectives as Brazilian women, what are some cultural values or traits that you think make Brazilian relationships unique? Camila, let's start with you.
Me?
We'll start with you. We'll put you on the spot first.
Ooh. I think we're very warm and kind, right? Like, at least like my house, I was open to everybody. Any given day, I have 10 kids playing with my kids, and it's the neighborhood house that embraces all the other kids.
Yep.
And my kids,
You have dinner parties. You
I
have
have
people.
dinner parties.
Like, neighbors are always coming over to your house.
We're very social. We love people. I think we do love people.
We're very warm and
Very warm and kind.
Hospitable.
Hospitable and inclusive.
I would say Brazilians know how to throw a party.
Oh,
I would say yes.
Vivi is
we have a live living example right here.
Yes.
right there.
Yeah, you guys.
She's the
yeah.
party.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But very social and
Yeah.
very loving.
Very
I mean,
loving.
yeah, I
social.
think we try
Beautiful.
to focus on the little details of how you're gonna make your guests feel from every little aspect, you know, like
Yeah.
during the moment. So, what if just having things ready for them and set up
Yeah.
for them, like in the bathroom, like, well, what if someone has a headache? What if they need a toothpick? What if they need, or what if they're too hot during the party? Or so you think of all the little details on how to make your guests feel welcome and
Let me-
comfortable and
Yeah.
loved,
So you're saying you have a checklist that you make out for like about 3 months ahead of time?
No. It's a gut thing. Like you're trying to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Yeah. And like we know that we love dancing, right? So a lot of the times we'll just have like slippers or flip flops to give out during the party because we see a lot of our friends just like taking off their shoes
heels
and
off.
take your heels off after some time. So
it's a very traditional thing to just like give away things that makes you feel comfortable and enjoy all the way until the last minute.
Yeah.
But
And
bringing this to the relationship, I think that's another thing.
We do bring that to the relationship.
Yeah, we bring this a lot to the relationship, and
which is funny because
we're
like
natural
when I first met Glenn and Camila, Glenn was like, I was like, Camila, Glenn needs to put some more sunblock on. Like he's starting to look like a shrimp.
It was at the pool party.
I like to say
She came to me, she's like, he needs more sunblock. He's too pale. I'm like,
yeah, he's not Latino. Like, and he's out in the sun like he's like,
Is it not a mix of like a motherhood and also being a protective, letting like
which my husband complains is like, what does he say? Is like, I'm not incapable. I'm not like.
He says the same thing to me. He's like,
what's the word
I can take care of myself.
Yeah, he's like.
I usually just say, no, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I usually also describe myself, and I don't have a problem saying this. Like, I'm so white, I'm translucent. I mean, coming from English and German history background,
translucent.
I'm so white.
But he said the same thing
but
to me.
But I appreciate that.
But yeah,
we laughed about that.
I feel like
like
that's
this
And I
very-
told I didn't tell Glenn, like, Glenn, you need to put some more sunblock on. I'm like, Camila, your guy needs some more sunblock. Like, go put some more sunblock on him because he's getting ready. So it's us. Like, we go take care of the person. Then my husband's like, it's almost like he feels embarrassed. Like, we're there putting sunblock on him. He's like, I'm not a kid. I'm not a baby. Like,
I told my husband, baby,
Mm-hmm.
he's like,
Same thing.
I want to go to
Same
the
thing
water.
with
He
him.
does that to you too, Carrie? Carrie's like,
Yeah,
like,
when you're holding,
It comes from a place of love.
It comes from a place of
so
love.
you're fine with
it
it. You're
always
okay
comes
with
from a
it?
place of love.
Well, we know it's
That's an example, but I think there's other examples.
yeah.
wanted him
there's
coming back
that's
home
examples, but it's
complaining.
more of like
Carrie should jump in here.
Carrie and I,
'cause, you know.
Carrie and I come from a place of like we understand where you're coming from, and it's just from a place of love. It's not from a place of belittling.
Okay,
Never.
so
So
was that
that's
something
where-
you had to get used to,
Never.
though? Or was that something you were like,
Yes.
I
okay,
did.
you wanna
I
see-
did.
you want to see
Yeah,
something
yeah,
real
yeah,
quick?
yeah,
We
yeah.
just went to the Husky games.
Bring him back here.
we went
Bring
went
it
to the
back.
Husky games, and like my husband's shoelace was untied, and he had things on his hand. Yeah, like he was carrying the drink, and he was carrying something for me. Like I had just come out of the bathroom, and so then I'm like, "Oh, your shoelace is untied," and I really went to
Did you
tie
go
his
last
shoelace.
night?
No, it was like last week or something.
Okay.
He's like mortified
That you're doing that for him.
that I'm tying the shoelace for him.
Oh,
You know,
Oh, he
Like,
would not allow
no,
me
he
to
was
do that
mortified,
either.
and he's like,
I would.
you know, like, and then I'm
He
like,
throw the
"What?"
popcorn out and just let me do it.
No, he's like, no, he's like, he's like, honey, he's like, I got it. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, my hands are free. I'll just do it for you quickly. And then, like, and I'm like, man, if anything, just look at the other guys. He's like, yeah, my woman. And I was kidding. I was just saying that to mess with him because I know. He's like, if people look at me, they're going to think, like, what an ass. He's making his woman tie the shoe.
Oh, I
There's-
see
there's
why.
that too.
That was his thought.
Okay, all right.
There's two things. I think
Absolutely. Like,
if Camila ever said that to me, oh, you're like, if you just started like your shoelace is untied, let me and kneel down and start. I'd be like, no. First, it's like somewhat emasculating because
yeah.
as a man, it's like
Yeah.
you don't think I can tie my shoe? It's like whoa. No. And then it's like I understand it. Like you want to do something for me, but it comes from a place of love. So I have to be like, oh, she's doing this because she's like she doesn't want me tripping on my face because I'm carrying all this other stuff
Yes.
too. So I'm like, oh, I got it. I probably set everything down and
Or
like,
I hold
take
this
care of it.
stuff so you can't
Yeah,
tie
I
your
wouldn't
own
even
shoe.
do that.
well,
Let me put
I
everything
caught
away.
him, like, because he was holding our drinks. He
Right.
was holding my coat. I had just come out of the bathroom. And instantly, I'm like, oh, your shoes. So anyway, this is not, and it doesn't come to play like, oh, I'm being a submissive person. No, it's none of that. It's just like, it's like,
worry about him fall.
You don't want him falling on his
You
face
see
and
something?
scraping
You
his
do it,
face up.
right? And he could have done it. I could have taken my coat back.
I want him
could
to
have
drop
had
my beer.
back, and I could
What
have.
if you?
I don't want him to drop my beer.
What if you did this? What if you did this? Hey, babe, your.
Yeah, what if he drops my beer?
beer,
Absolutely.
What if you did this? Just like, hey, babe, your shoelace is undone or whatever. And then like you started taking things out of his hand so he could take care of it. Like, here, let me hold this while you take care of it. Just like
Well,
grabbing.
Glenn, at times we don't
can.
think that
Yeah.
way. It's
like-
it's
I-
out of
Just a
hold on.
suggestion.
I'm gonna back you guys. I'm gonna back you guys
It's just
because
out of instinct.
this is a mother thing.
it is a mother thing.
It is mother.
I would grab stuff from his hands and say, tie your shoes.
Yeah.
I would say,
Exactly.
baby, your
Right,
shoes,
Camila? Yeah,
your
maybe
shoes
it is.
untied. I would just give, can you?
So
It is,
And I do a lot of stuff like
It's
that
a
because
mama
I'm a
shoe.
mom.
It's a
Yeah, I'm like,
mama's
no.
mother stuff.
I'm
Yeah,
a mom too.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you up. But go ahead.
No. I was just like,
Yeah.
that's behavior of like get things done and continue moving is a real little things that comes from the motherhood, which I
You know,
don't
coming
have
to
it.
think of
That's
it,
a great point.
right?
That's a
Camila,
great
were you
point.
like that
I don't
before you
think-
were a mother? I don't know if I was like this before I
I
was a
don't
mother.
remember before I was a mother. I mean,
Well done, Fern. Yeah.
you know, but I think we had those, like, you're like, Camila, I can't do myself. I'm like, oh,
I'm a
really?
big boy.
Yeah,
You have a big boy span.
It's like, I'm adult. I can do these
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
honey.
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things,
yeah.
too.
My husband feels that way. Like, he's like,
Yeah, it's
he either feels that I'm treating him like a baby, or like,
But just
he's like,
just understand that it's somewhat, from a man's perspective,
Yeah.
it's somewhat emasculating. If you're an adult, especially if you're like over 5,
over 5.
that bending down and tying,
Sounds very bad.
having somebody tie your shoelace.
Glenn,
It's a little-
am I allowed to call Carrie in real quick and for him to say like, no, not Carrie? Can you say like what
It's up to
Fernanda
Carrie.
did? Yeah. So Carrie, just come in here real quick. We'll share a microphone. Here, bring your chair over.
No, come here.
You're gonna have to squeeze together.
sorry.
Oh, Gary gonna get in. There we go.
We're gonna
Come
get.
here,
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kneel down.
So what was it that Fernanda did that in the beginning you had to get used to? Like,
Oh boy, that
Come
get it-
closer.
yeah, get
Yeah, what was
on
the
the
things
mic.
that you like, huh?
That is putting me on the spot for sure. I would say
Choose your words carefully.
yeah. Oh, look at Fernanda.
Into
She's
the,
trying. She's like,
into the
you
mic
bet-
there,
you bet-
Carrie.
Boy,
We
you better
gotta get
choose
this
your
re-
words wisely.
Twisting under the bed like
We got to get this recorded, buddy.
it wasn't tying my shoes. I'll tell you that much right off the bat. I really can't think of an example of where you did something of that nature. It might have been. I don't know.
Don't fold my underwear.
The cooking?
Oh my gosh! Yes, that
Yeah.
would be it.
I fold underwear.
That is a great example.
You didn't
of,
like her
of-
folding your underwear?
Well, it wasn't. It was. She was doing it a certain way, and I'm like, no, I just.
I
do
like
it
this way. I
Just-
like
let's
this
just
way.
Throw this down.
Just throw it.
I think little things like that, right? It doesn't emasculate me, right? And I completely understand where it's coming from, how she's doing it.
He even asked me to do the parallel parking.
Oh, really?
I'm terrible at parallel parking.
I cannot drive.
So he knows his you know your limitations.
I'm not emasculating.
I know where
just
it's
skills.
not emasculating to me. It's like,
Right.
hey, if you got a different skill set that's better than mine, I'm fine with that. I mean, that comes down to the partnership of it. right?
That's manly.
Yeah.
That's like, he's
Yeah.
totally secure. He's totally fine and
I'm
confident
absolutely,
about himself. Yeah.
absolutely secure in it. 100%.
Okay, I'll let it go.
Thank you.
Let me do a quick interjection here. If you're enjoying this conversation, don't just listen, join it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own dating wins and losses and tell us what resonates most. And if you know someone, male or female, who's navigating the messy middle between heartbreak and hope, send this episode to them. You never know whose perspective it might shift.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
My stomach is here growling, so
Are you hungry?
I am a little bit hungry. So if my stomach starts participating in the conversation, please ignore. It's not invited.
We can make a
water will
cut.
help with that.
Oh yeah.
Coffee will help with that.
Oh, no, I'm okay. Yeah,
okay.
I'm
We'll-
already grabbed.
We'll go for a little longer unless you're like.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Okay.
What are the questions?
So far off.
Oh my
We're
God.
so far off.
We took over like, the
I knew
podcast.
that would happen.
Glenn said, "How are you, girls?" And then
I
we
had
just
a feeling.
Anybody else? Let's bring back to schedule.
I
Then you
know.
just bring somebody else.
Eu
Oh
sabia
my
que isso ia
God.
acontecer. Eu falei pra ele, você não vai conseguir falar.
Oh my God.
Não vai nem lembrar.
Camila's saying here saying that we took over Glenn's podcast
Yes.
and us Brazilians especially, you get us talking. And Camila said she had warned him. Like, this is gonna happen. You're gonna say like, "How are you, girls?" And then that's it. The
Oh, I
rest,
knew.
like
Oh.
from the first question, we're taking over.
I knew this from the start. No, I knew this from the start. I'm like, I'm going to have nothing. I'll have no control of this.
Oh my God.
But I would love to just, to answer your question. You said, like, what makes the relationship so different, so nice? It's just like,
I think it's a great combination.
there's a good combination
It's
this
a
way.
great
but, like,
combination.
the nature of us always being raised as you have to help your dad, you have to help your mother at home, or you have to learn, you must learn the skills of taking care of your house. You must, of course, some of them are much
Homemakers.
better than the other. Not everybody has the same set of skills, but like deep down, everything comes from, I want to please someone. I want this person to feel assisted, loved. And my love language, for instance, is cooking and taking care of people.
Mine too.
I'm touchy. I like to just make sure that you're never hungry next to me. No matter who you are, you're always going to have food. And I'm always going to cook with all my heart to whoever wants to be next to me, because this is my love language. And I feel that so many ways that we show and display affection
Cooking.
are like come from our roots as a family grounded.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like a primarily
Yeah.
above of everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me is also taking care of the person in the house and making sure
Yeah.
their place is a homey environment and they feel
Yep.
cozy and warm and yeah.
Like
With
it's an
beauty.
oasis.
Because you're interior designers.
And
Everything has to be
beauty.
beautiful. Everything has to be very
But
textured.
it sounds like you make it an oasis. You make it like a place, a sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little nest.
Little
I
nest,
just
sure.
feel that that's the place
Yeah.
where it's our
Yeah.
safe place to come home to. And when we tell people like, oh, when we want others to feel welcome in our house, like welcome, but we want our family to feel welcome, like to have their little place. Like what makes you feel welcome at home? What makes you, even from like your childhood memory, that is like you come inside the house and you're like, it's
The
just
smell of your house, the little things in your house.
the little
yeah.
things that connects you to that place and say like, this is my safe place. You know, so that's what
Yep.
we want to find out and we want to bring that in.
And for a man coming into something like that, I think there's a sense of responsibility for a woman to be giving that much to say, me, I'm going to be like, oh, there are guys out there that can be like, oh, she's giving everything, you know, all of this to me, her home, her sanctuary, her cooking, her energy, her time. And guys might take advantage of that or respect it and show appreciation for it.
Yeah.
But it depends. Like, I think we're wise enough and we're smart enough
this
to know who
point.
to give it to.
Yes.
Right? Because I think a relationship, it's kind of like you kind of want to mirror. If the guy gives you one, you give one. He gives you, like, you give two and he gives two, great. But if you give three and he gives one, then you step back a little bit too and see, like, okay, let's see where he's at. You know, it's like so you want to do that dance together. You
Especially
observe
this age and
you-
time in our age,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to do this. Like
Yeah.
third, second time around.
Oh no, we're not just
It's not
cooking
to
around
make
or
it-
doing
yeah,
stuff
I'm
for
not
guys
just-
that are not.
You
I
guys-
have
to raise my
realize
time.
It's reciprocal.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
ladies gotten to the point where you recognize your oxytocin levels.
Yeah, I think you recognize we recognize,
Yeah.
and not this. We also recognize when we'll be actually
Appreciate it.
not only appreciated, but like, hey, come on. There's a difference between friend and friendly, and there's a difference between I'm doing too much and then you taking for granted.
Yeah, we
you know, like,
Taken for granted is a really good way of putting it.
it
Like I could
just
see
like
guys doing that, but that's
Yeah.
the level of boundaries or the boundaries that you put out there. Is like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. This is who I do it for someone I love and appreciate, the love of my life.
The love
But
of my
there's
life.
reasons why you say this is the love of my life, probably because they're reciprocating that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're showing a level of respect and appreciation for what you're providing. And it's like, oh my gosh, she's doing all of this. I'm going to show that appreciation, right? I let her know, let you know.
And there's no right and wrong. Sometimes in the relationship, I'm just talking about Vivi and Camila because we know each other. We know our backgrounds and then we know how we operate. But like there's other women out there that feel like, you know what, housing is not my skills. I don't, that's a different love language
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
I like to do other stuff. I like to travel. I like to, I don't know. I like to approach the relationship in a different way.
Sure.
And if it works, back to the contract and back to the boundaries. If it works
We
for
have
them,
other friends
I
too
think
that
that's
have like
totally
other
fine.
skills of showing love and like
Yeah.
just how they take care of the person. The reason why I say American guys and Brazilian girls are such a good combination is because we have that giving part of us, that side to us. And I feel that American guys are very much that way too. Like a lot of the guy friends that I used to have, they're like, oh no, we do this. And like part of my salary, like I take this much because this is the time I'm going to take my girlfriend out on a date or I'm going to. So it's just that I feel that they have this consideration and
Complement each other.
they complement
Yeah.
each other. I just think, like I tell my Brazilian friends, I'm like, oh my God, I think American guys with Brazilian girls is just like such a good match. Like with the way they're raised, the culture, it just complements one another.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, a lot of the younger guys are kind of in a state of just being ignored. Like, I'm thinking about guys in their 20s, maybe
Yeah.
even in their early 30s, where they're maybe not having a whole lot going on for them, but they don't know what to do, and they're afraid to go out and meet other women. And so ways to level up, knowing that, I guess what you're saying, Brazilian women have a lot to offer.
Not a competition. I think there's not a competition about, oh my God, if I don't get to the standards, to her standard of loving or commitment to the relationship, I might not feel a part of it. You know, I'm not at the same level. Everybody has something to give.
Yeah.
Little things,
Absolutely.
great things,
Yeah.
good things, bad things. And then I feel like you both get into the relationship knowing exactly what are the gives and gets. I don't believe that is immutable. Over time, this could actually change, evolve, or maybe be deprecated. I don't know. There's some traits that you feel over time that is, you know what, maybe I should stop doing this, or maybe I should do this more. And the same way goes to the other part. thinking that
Yeah, yeah.
I know that she appreciates this. I know that she doesn't like this type of thing. Maybe I should just start, calibrating a little thing, how actually I'm giving and what I'm getting too.
Yeah.
If you're starting in a relationship where it feels like a competition, that's so exhaustive.
Right.
You know?
Oh my gosh, that's exhausting.
If I don't do it, oh my God, if I don't do it, she's going to get pissed at me because I
God,
have to
yeah.
no,
do
it
it.
shouldn't be this way.
You know, it feels
and
like
all
a-
the drama. No, oh,
Yeah, the
and
drama, yeah, I
you
know.
add a layer of a drama that is like look,
Like our role as men, we should be coming into the situation being like, what can I take off of your shoulders? What stressors can I relieve you of?
Yeah.
And that's how
it's
I
the
approach.
protection side
but
of the
you
man
guys have
being,
such a capacity. Like men have such a capacity to make us feel safe, and like it when they care, right? And they like, what can I help you with? Just that question.
Yeah.
Can I help you with anything? What can I take off your plate or off your shoulder? Just that question is already takes a whole bunch out of us just by knowing that somebody has got our backs.
Right.
You know, like somebody is
Yeah.
there for us. And maybe for you guys too, like, sometimes ask my husband, what can I do to make you happy? I really want you to be like the happiest husband in the world. Like, what can I do to make you happier? So, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking I had a discussion with Dr. Jackie Brown the other day, and when you say safe, it really resonates. And you get to a point of where, when we were talking about earlier, where you're just like, I feel I can be myself. And there's a reason why the three of you are saying he's the love of my life. It's because I think you're in a part of where you can just be yourself and you feel safe being yourself. But to get there, it's like there's a mutual amount of respect, right?
Yeah.
You know that he's not going to take advantage of you. She knows that he's, back and forth, the level of respect, boundaries are respected, that kind of
being
thing.
taken advantage is such a back that competition. Like
Yes.
we know exactly when we're being taken advantage.
I think we know. I mean,
look,
yeah.
the guy want to get home every day. The meal must be cooked. The house must be clean. It feels like I'm back to the 70s when mom was the housewives and dad was just coming home from work, and everything should be pristine, wait for them with the shoes, waiting at the door.
My mother-
That's
what my
how
mother
I was
did.
raised. That's
Me
how I was
too.
raised. I grew up.
My mother did every night.
Exactly.
Yeah, all day.
Dad was come back from work and he doesn't want to be bothered. Kids
Oh, yeah,
ready to
couldn't
go to
bother.
bed, and that's the mom and that time, and that's it. That's like, I believe we've all been raised this way.
Yeah, we
like
were.
80s babies, 90 babies. We just grew up in this environment, and if I would be, look, it worked pretty well for my mom and dad, but like in different times, there was so much gifts in my mom's side that my dad thought that money would only be enough to pay his part into the marriage
the
agreement.
agreement, yeah.
I am the one that wakes up in the morning and go work and bring food to the table, and you should stay home doing absolutely everything else.
Yeah.
Not saying that his work was less important or was not easy, but he has his stressing life as well. But
He could
there is-
clock off, and your
the-
mother never clocked off, right? Like
Exactly,
he
that
worked
was
until
never-
5 p.m., 6 p.m. He got home.
24,
Yeah.
7-Eleven, and then dad was just like,
And
you know.
I think now,
I
because
don't
I'm
think it was an abusive relationship and not taken advantage of, but I feel like
It used to
agreements don't
be.
work now.
women
Like this.
stayed at home with the kids, right? Now I do both. I have my kids a lot, and then I work full time
A lot.
a lot. Honestly, work outside the home is way easier. Now that I know, like I do
would say
both,
so
I was
too.
like,
I
my
would
poor
say so, too.
mother.
I would
Like,
say so
poor
too.
woman.
I have to agree, 1,000%. Work outside the home is
It's
so much easier.
It's more fun. It's reward. I mean, not the kids are not
you
rewarding.
connect with other people.
Yes.
And you like you see other people, other parts of life, and when you're inside the house, it gets very stressful.
Yeah, I appreciate my mother even more after my
yeah,
experience,
absolutely.
but through life. But
And I'm not saying like we love being with our kids and we love taking care of the
course you
house,
do.
but when you're just inside that bubble, then
Yeah.
that's all you do, right? Like
No.
you're only tending to, someone else's need. It's a child that's completely dependent of you for everything. It's like, it's very hard.
I know in this man too. Like I think you have to have your own independence. Your life outside the family. You have to be yourself because the kid's gonna go to college, relationships fall apart, and then what about you? Where you stand on that, right? And for men as well. Like I think it's very, very important to be independent. I think a relationship needs to be dependent on each other, but then you have to have your own independency as well.
Camila, you know what I was going to say? Fernanda, she just brought something up about like taking advantage of that you guys were saying. And we were saying like now we're wiser, we're smarter, and then you talked about guys that were like in their 20s. And one of the things I learned, just coming back to this because this was in my head, one of the things I learned was that in the beginning of a relationship, right? Like you're talking about like taking advantage. Sometimes the guy will take you to very fancy places and will take you to these things that you're just like, oh my God. But then I started to learn that sometimes he's not doing it for you. He's doing it for his own ego because he loves women falling at his feet. He loves women being impressed by him. That doesn't mean that a guy's doing that because he's so into you. Sometimes it's because he loves that, like women falling in love with him. And like, oh my God, he took me on a helicopter ride. And oh my God, he took me to this, it's like the most expensive restaurant in town. And sometimes he's doing it for himself because he knows like, so yeah. So so the thing that I also saw is like a relationship is like a picture. Sure. Like day one, you have the picture. Doesn't mean that it's going to stay like that forever. So he may be a great date, day 1, date 10, date 20. Doesn't mean that he's going to be great after date 25. So it's taking one thing at a time and really, like really giving it time to really observe and see the white flags and the red flags. And
Yeah, are you talking about men are usually leading with their wallet? Like, hey, I'm going to take you to the nicest restaurant and I'll drive you around in the nicest car and then we'll go to the nicest place for $40 drinks or something like that. Yeah. Is that the kind of man you're talking about?
I'm talking about in the dating world, yeah. Like sometimes women can face that, and we're talking about like guys who have values. And so I have had some girlfriends that are like, oh, why is it that I can't find a guy like your husband or blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you two have heard that a lot too. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I don't have luck with guys. And I would tell my friends like that there are so many things we can observe in a man. Yeah. Then I'm like, I mean, come on, really? Why do you keep on falling for these guys? There are so many things that you can see and tell that
right away.
From the way they speak,
they're all there. Yeah.
From the way they dress, from the way
they approach you.
They approach you. And one of the things I say the most, I've always observed, see how he treats people that cannot offer him anything. Mm-hmm. That is one thing that I always observe is like how he treats a person that's serving you at a restaurant, how he treats a valet, whatever, how he treats. Because it's very nice. Yeah, he's interested in whatever he wants with you, whether it's taking you to bed. He wants to impress you. What about people that have no importance in their life? You know, how? So it's a time for, in Brazil, there's a saying, while you're dating, keep your eyes wide open. Because after you get married, you're going to have to shut your eyes for a few things so things can like let go and for you not to be nitpicking little things. So while you're dating,
lots of compromising.
What you're talking about is a case for how men can start approaching relationships in a certain sense that develop yourself to where you have your boundaries already developed before getting into a relationship. Mm-hmm. Keep yourself healthy, sleep right, eat right, work out, do these things. Develop a social network so you're already doing fun things so you don't have to show it off to anybody. You don't have to go to the most expensive place to get something to eat or go to the most expensive bar to have something to drink. You could go to something that's just like a microbrewery or someplace that has really cool desserts and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. It's just, this is the world.
Those are usually the best dates. Like when we just go to paseo and just sit like by the beach or something.
Right.
I love those.
It's just super social and like, here's all of my friends. Yeah. And to have the girl go, hey, you can join me and my friends. We're going to go over to this place and we're going to all hang out and we're going to go, we're going to go to the beach first and we're just going to sit around by the campfire. And then we might go to, blah, blah, blah to have a dessert because the desserts are really awesome there. And then afterwards we might go and play some card games or something like that. I mean, just put it in an environment to where
it's talking whatever
bring it to your word. I think you bring it to your word because if you even if you project yourself in a word that does not belong to you, I want to go to a $40 bar and drinks in a bar. This is not sustainable over time.
Yeah,
you're just gonna say like you're just trying to show off and you're just trying to impress, but that's not you. Yeah. And then when she really finds out who you really are, it's gonna be disappointing.
Right.
Because she's just like, I fall for the guy that pay fancy restaurants. Well, but I'm not a guy. My money's gone. So like.
And for men,
however. Who was I talking to? No, it wasn't with you two yesterday. No, I was talking with another friend that we were driving the car together. Okay, and many ladies may disagree. Many guys may disagree too. But for me, sure, you can get to know a person. You want to do a video call first, a FaceTime, go for it.
Going on a date?
But if you go on a date, I will always offer out of politeness to split the bill. Always.
Me too. But if he accepts it, I'll never see him again. I'll never see him again.
I am deleting his number from my contacts. Or if somebody else answers my phone, like say she died. She died. She no longer exists.
I
will
won't
rip up
deserve.
his She's nope. That's it. Like done. If he cannot be a gentleman on the first date where he's inviting her out,
Can you imagine the rest?
Can you imagine the rest? He's gonna be that cheap. No, thank you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So take her to a place where yes, you can afford to pay. To pick up the check.
Always.
The point. Yeah, it sounds like the point here is like you got the three of you don't need to go to an expensive place to have a nice time. It
No,
doesn't
not at
mean you
all.
don't need to go to an expensive bar to have a nice time.
But
They can be
person.
super social. We went to a silly, just a arcade.
Oh yeah, that was so fun. Just him and I were just went to arcade and we had a blast.
But I would point out to guys
Yeah.
that are trying to get into relationships, if they're wealthy, try not to lead with money because like what you were saying,
It's so easy to fall for that. Yeah.
right, or it's easy to fall for it, but if you're like, this is how great I am, look at this is $1 million
But you know why
watch.
too, Glenn, this is happening? Because have you guys heard of hypergamy? Did I say this right? Because I never get it right. Hypergamy.
Hypergamy.
So do you know what that is?
I don't know.
So hypergamy means that women want to marry a man who's across or up, is marrying up, right? So if she makes 100K a year, she wants a man that makes the same or more.
Okay.
So there's a lot of buzz about that, how women want a equal or more. And in my point, I was like, well, I can see that when you're in 20s, you're looking for a mate, you're looking to have kids. Let's be honest. Money makes life easier. It just does, especially when you have kids. Come on.
It's one less word in life. Let's put that way.
Right. But now I think in our 40s, right, after marriage, after kids, after everything, doesn't money matters that much? Of course, I want a guy, usually women want a guy who has integrity, right?
Amiga,
And
I
has
think it
purpose.
does. You know why I think it does?
But do you think like, Vivi, because if that's how it goes, women that are extremely successful never going to find a mate, never going to find a husband.
Well,
or
yeah.
But do you
No,
remember a saying in Brazil? I would try to freely translate this.
Yeah.
When,
Which one?
when the misery knocks the door, the love jumps through the window. It's something in this line. It's,
Ok, fala em português. Como é que é isso?
quando a pobreza bate na porta, o amor pela janela.
Ah, é. É verdade.
Yeah, so
okay.
the reason why I said I
Translate for us who
disagree.
don't speak.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said exactly the same. Like
When poverty knocks
the
the
poverty
door.
knocks your door, the love jumps through the window.
Love jumps
It's
through
just
the
like,
window.
hey, it's because like it's easy and poetical and romantic. This we're just together for love, no matter who makes more money or no matter who. But I feel like if one of the parts have no ambition to just be their best, I mean, I'm
Right.
not saying.
I think that's more important.
I'm not saying like men should always have more money than women
more
and
successful.
be
No,
more
yeah.
successful. I think it doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is, if you both are striving to do better, more,
Yeah.
that for me is really sexy.
I think so too.
You know, like
have a
there's-
plan together.
So
Or sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're two people that want to live out in the woods in a
That's
tiny
fine.
house.
If it works,
that's
it
fine.
works.
If that's what they're
Totally
for.
works.
But what I was saying is my mom was a family attorney, and she had to deal with lots of divorces and couples that were divorcing. And she would tell me like most couples would divorce over money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when hard times come, it puts such a stress on the family. Like, how am I going to put food on the table and for the kids? And when it happens for a short amount of time, sure, the person is
trigger survival
unemployed.
mode.
The person's unemployed for whatever, 6 months, for a year. But then when it goes over that, the financial hardship continues for 2, 3, 4 years. It puts such a strain on the marriage. And then sometimes it's like, okay, is the guy not doing enough? Or he's nitpicking, being very choosy about the work that he's going to do. It doesn't matter what work he's going to do, but it is important to put food on the table. It is important for your family to be able to, your
Can you
kids to
imagine
be
if
able
that
to
guy
see a
was like,
doctor.
I'm going to go do whatever. I have 3 jobs. I'll get stuff done. Honey, I got you. I got us. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
So-
That woman appreciate him like, okay, we don't have a lot of money, but he's doing everything that he can to provide. So I think why men, especially young men, I think are leaning with their wallet because they have this idea of a women only want me if I make more money
If
or
I protect, I'm a provider.
Exactly. And I don't think more and more as women are going to college more than men nowadays, that's going to shift pretty quickly here. The next generation, men are going to fall behind.
Yeah,
They're falling
I
behind
agree.
already.
So a couple points here
Okay.
for the hypergamy thing,
Yes.
where women are looking at men who are making just as much or more. The big argument there is if a woman is, say, making $150,000, say, $100,000, and they're looking for a man that makes at least $100,000. One, like less men are enrolling in college, less men are
Right.
graduating from college compared to
Right.
women. So they're, it's going to start going down to the point of where men are going to be making less than women. And the number of men, like in what in general, $100,000 only like 20% of Americans make.
Yes.
Like 15 to 20% of Americans make $100,000 or more. And I think as the higher you go as far as your salary, the less people make that much. And then you cut that in half for okay, I'm looking for a guy that has that. And then if you add on height to that, we're talking in less than like 1%.
And then you add age to that.
Add age to that. Then you add,
like-
are they obese or not?
Yeah.
They have hair or not?
So,
They have teeth, you know.
I have a girlfriend that's like, I'll never date a bald man. I'm like, what? She's like, they have to have hair. I'm like, what?
so the whole point
Well, I
here,
have girlfriends that think bald men are extremely sexy.
Me too. Like,
They say they have more
there's like
testosterone.
237 ways a woman will have sex with a man. A man will have like 3. But,
Sorry, go to the finish
yeah,
your point.
but the whole point here is like, as the needs for hypergamy start adding up, the number of men available in
The
that
options are
pool
quite small.
starts shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And so it's like, it's a really good point to say, you know, money, it should be a factor, but as long as the guy is doing some action, not saying it. That's another thing I would say, tell men and women.
Yeah.
It's like, are you backing up what you're saying? Are you doing things? Are you showing action?
Yeah.
Or are you
Yes.
just talking about it? Are you talking the talk?
Oh,
Then
you
walk
walk
the
the
walk.
walk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
talk.
that
Glen,
concept.
like on this matter, like when you brought back, the fact that my women is tying my shoes, it could be seen as emasculating. Do you think a woman
Making more money.
making more money over a man in a situation like, okay,
Yeah.
the guy is just there, or maybe there's a different standards. I see that the guy is hustling, is doing his best as he can, but still I have somebody else doing a little bit more. Unfortunately, to the young generation, they see this as a very emasculating. You know, this is like, I don't want to be sustained. I don't want to have my bills paid off by women.
I don't want to be supported by
I don't want to be
women,
supported by
100%.
women. You know, and it's just such a
In general, I guess I would take that.
yeah, you know, like is that's the other side of like, we are very appreciative of the work, and we are very appreciative of, like I said, we're both together. Let's set a line in horizon. Just let's go towards the one. No matter the path we take, we just always pointing to our objective.
Right.
Versus just like, you know what, that's what I do.
I don't
care.
think a woman
That's what I
will
mean.
disrespect, not disrespect. I don't think a woman would have lack of respect for a man that earns
I would never
less than her.
Never would think
However,
less. Yeah. Men
if-
might be
if-
thinking
it-
that.
he might feel that way,
Yeah.
but I think women would only have lack of respect if she sees that he's not trying.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree with you.
That's what
think
I'm pointing. It's just like,
Yeah.
as long as you trace it, as long as you guys are seeing like, hey, I'm doing my best.
Yes.
This is what I'm doing.
And she sees it.
Gosh,
then, like,
this is, I'm going to put it back, is
yeah.
the ambition, a healthy
drive.
ambition and
Yeah,
the drive
purpose.
is the most attractive trait in a man.
Visual evidence, it can trump anything. Anybody says, you know, be like, okay, that's great. But if you're like, see, this is what I did. See, we're doing a podcast. See, I did the blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just like, here's a picture of me doing blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Here's us, making a business. Here's me doing, the whole action portion is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at.
Yeah.
The
Versus
Bible-
talking lip service.
The Bible has a saying that says, like, you know a tree by its fruit, right? So a good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. So it's all about the actions that you see. So the person can say, like, the tree can say all it wants, like, oh yeah, I give great fruits and like,
Yeah, but
really
if you don't-
juicy and sweet. But if you don't, so always observe. It's always like observe. It's very easy to talk the talk. It's very easy to, but
Yeah, I would warn everybody, men and women, just to observe the actions
Little things
of
as
the
well.
of the opposite sex. Yeah, that you're interested in
Like
versus what they're saying.
And it's very disturbing. Like when I started dating, I was like, well, let me listen to some coaches, right? Because I'm like, I got married for 15 years, didn't work out.
I'm a little rusty.
I'm like, how am I going to start dating again? I'm like, what about if nobody likes me? What about, if I can find anyone? So I started listening to coaches, and so many coaches say this, like, don't ever date somebody who makes less money than you. And I sent to you
Were these
another
female
day.
coaches or male coaches?
Male coaches coaching females.
Both. We're saying that.
Both are saying that. 'Cause
Interesting.
he's like, well, in my experience, I have never seen a successful relationship when a woman makes more money than the man. That never really works. And I'm like, but he did not say why. it didn't
Why?
work.
What's the reason? Show me the data.
But it's because a woman had the expectation the guy will make more money and take care of her financially all the way. Like, what was it? Because to me, that could be the reason why it didn't work out, right? It's those expectations. If you expect to find a man to pay all your bills and you do nothing, then it's not going to work if the guy makes less money than you. But
Yeah.
if that's not the expectation, I think there's a possibility to work out. So a program is a huge thing, the dating.
And there's situations in life. Let's say, okay,
Right.
I'm not saying something happens to your work, something happens to your partner's work. Gosh, that's like a hardship that comes through. Okay, I think everything. I talk a lot with my husband. I talk a lot about good times and bad times.
Yeah.
Like we have a plan for absolutely everything.
Yeah.
We always said and just like, what if you
Lose my job,
knock on
or-
wood, I lose
yeah.
my job, or knock on wood, you lose your job. Okay, we
Yeah.
have a plan.
Yeah.
I always have a plan
Which
because
is awesome.
we never.
But that's true partnership right there.
And I agree that many relationships end because of fight over money, and it's not just a.
Because they didn't have a plan. Fernanda.
No, not just like men and women, but like a family, sisters, siblings. There's a fight of family over
Inheritance
and
yeah.
everything because the money is always the deal breaker into this one.
Yes.
But in my relationship, what I always incorporate into everyday conversation, little things, economic scenarios, things how we're going, political things, and like agreement and disagreements, or economic situation, gains, losses, stock investments. We are really tuning to it, and
Yeah,
we
you have
talk a
to.
lot about we need to have our rainy days. What happens? What's going to be? This is our plan B. God forbid something happens to you. God forbid something happens to me. This is where we go from there because we don't want to deal with the hardship when the hardship happens. We want to be prepared
my
for
husband is like
that,
that too.
when this happens.
Especially what he does for a living.
And
yeah,
we
for sure.
we have a lot of plans about like because we talk about this. I don't want money to be a
problem.
a problem for us
Viv-
in a matter of like split us apart.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Viv, any final thoughts? We're kind of getting that time. Any final thoughts? I think we kind of.
So Camila just said something like in the beginning of the dating, like she was like, like, and Fernanda jumped in like, oh, rusted. I would just say like, if you're gonna like, well, it's not a final thought, but it's like maybe a tip that I did when I went on like first date and I started dating again. I was like, you know what? I don't want this to be like an FBI interview. So what?
Oh my God, those are horrible.
Look, it's
Sweat in your
awful.
palms.
It's boring. It's like you're being interrogated. That's absolutely no fun. And my sister was doing that, like, 'cause she was like going on dates. And I'm like, oh my God, the poor guy. Like, it feels like he's going for a job interview when he goes on a date with you. So then she's like, what should I do? And I'm like, well, so what I would take was I would play like. Do you want to play some cards? Do you want to play Uno? And they're like, at a bar? I'm like, yeah. Have you ever played Uno before? Let's play Uno. And then there's like a...
This is split families. I don't play one with my husband.
You're very competitive, Fern.
But it doesn't, like you're saying, it doesn't have to be like a $500 dinner.
No, but you can just have fun with the person. So
Right.
sometimes I would say games and
Absolutely.
questions and answer games. And I swear to God, like, we would cry laughing on dates. Because, like, oh, so do you, what do you prefer, this or that? And then the person, and then afterwards, like, gradually we asked more, like, questions about, like, oh, you do this and I'll do that. Like, but it was never like that. It was relaxed. So you're just meeting another human being. You're meeting another person. And if they say, like, oh, well, I think the earth is flat, I'll be like, oh, okay, how did you come to that conclusion? What made you feel that way?
I wouldn't
So
go
it didn't
today
matter.
to another day with that
I was
guy.
just like,
But yes,
no, my phone is ringing.
to your
Sorry, gotta go.
point.
But, so one last
I'm like, something happened,
Sorry.
gotta go.
Right, but here's the thing. But it's still interesting listening to someone else's point of view and like how they
100%.
came about to this. So this is what I say. When you're dating, it's like when you're going to an Airbnb. When you go to an Airbnb, listen.
I want to see this analogy. Let's go.
So when you're dating, is like when you go to what do you girls do when you go to an Airbnb?
Check everything first.
Okay, well you check, but are you checking? Okay,
They have cameras.
okay, but are you checking to see if the plumbing is working well? How the electrical is? Are you checking like the
Yes,
roofing and
all
the
that.
You're not. I guarantee you that when you go to an Airbnb, you're super happy. You're like, yeah, we're here on vacation. We're enjoying ourselves. So you're just enjoying the moment, the place. Now, if it's time to buy the house, then heck yeah. You're like checking every little pipe and plumbing and if anything is rusted. So as you're dating someone, let it be light, right? Like you're in Airbnb, you're just there to enjoy yourself, meet another human being, interact. And then now if you want to start being interested in investing and buying the property, then it's time for you to start asking all the questions. Because I have also heard this one that a good relationship depends on the questions that you ask in the beginning. So being that level of transparency with one another, that is it. So, and last one, I swear to God, last thought of the last thoughts. Sorry, Nathan. Nathan's like,
Our producer's like about to lose his mind.
last
Like, you
of
guys
the
cut
last
it off.
thoughts. See, now I forgot my
Just
last
come on.
thought. No, hold on.
Let's go.
Okay, wait.
Get
the last
going.
thought. God, can you believe I forgot it? Wait, I'm going to remember.
Airbnb, and then you pay, enjoy your
Airbnb,
ride,
and you
make the
then you
questions up front. I'm
invest in
just
the
helping
house.
you. Yeah, buy the house, check
You're gonna buy the
pipes,
house. You gotta make
clean your
answer.
pipes.
It passed, but it was something important. Can't believe it. I missed it. Nathan, it's your fault.
But can I just
remember,
say
I'll
something
remember.
else too?
What are your
Like,
thoughts? Okay.
no, like
10 seconds.
having a light relationship like that, like a light date, is good because you see who the person truly is from the get-go. The more comfortable you make people in the first date, the more you're going to see who they are, their true selves. So I love that. I thought the same way. I'm like, well, if I'm super, like judgmental and have a bunch of questions, the guy's going to be like, what the hell? I'm not going to see who they are. And I wanted to see that before I waste my time, because my time is valuable.
Yeah.
Especially with 2 kids, my career. I mean, I'm busy. I'm a busy gal, right? And I didn't want to be like 3 hours in a date that the guy sucked.
Yeah, no, that's not cool.
Right?
I think for me, it's just like
And the man feels the same way, probably.
no matter how good and bad, just say it out loud. Look, hey, I'm getting this relationship. This is what I do. I have friends.
honest.
I have kids. I'm like, just don't try to impress. I think a good impression is you being true to yourself and be honest to the person you were probably building a relationship to. Because there's nothing more hurtful that you'll find out later that was not necessarily everything you thought would be at the beginning, because the person was so good at telling you an incredible, beautiful life and impressive about everything. I don't want to be dismissive of like
Especially more
the
mature
impression.
people,
The
right?
impression. I think you need to put you need to add a little bit on top of your you want to impress, of course, but don't try to impress by being something
You're not.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remembered.
Okay,
Yeah, go.
Final
Final
comment.
thoughts. Final
Final
thoughts.
comment.
But sometimes I remember. Watch me forget
Go,
again.
go.
Watch me forget again, just because I mentioned it. Okay. Being afraid of asking questions, right? So this is something that I think us women, some and many girls, I hear them like, well, I don't know if I should ask him if he wants to go like 1-on-1, or I don't know, like I'm waiting for his answers on as to, like, what
You
he
should ask
wants,
right
like how he's
away.
seeing the relationship.
What do you mean one-on-one?
If he wants to go like into a
Monogamy.
monogamous, like, relationship that's just the two of you
Commitment to each other.
committed to each other, or sometimes she's scared of asking like, so where do you want this to go, right? Because they're like, well, we have to wait for the right time to like it's on his time. And then I think that after we're a certain age, is like it's sure when we're 20 and we're going to college, it's completely beautiful when you're dating the guy for like
You have
5
time.
years. And then finally after 10 years when he proposes, you're like, oh my God. Okay. But then after when you're 40 years old and soon you're going to be 45, then you're going to be 50, you cannot leave it up to the guy's hand, because it's your life too, that you need to know like what's going to
you're
happen to
getting to.
your life, what you're walking into, what you're getting into, and if it's going to work for you, right? So you cannot just leave it up to him to make the decisions. You have to say like, listen, I need to know where this is going. I need to know what I'm getting into.
And that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. And then sometimes women will wait 6 months, 1 year to ask like, hey, and then sometimes the guy's like, no, not at all. I don't want to go monogamous. I don't want to have this 1-on-1. And then she spent 6 months out of her life with a guy that doesn't want the same thing that she wants. So I think it's asking the right questions, like
But
we
if
said
it's first
from the
date
beginning.
question, what do you want? If the
What are you looking for?
After you're 40,
Ooh, no, no.
If it's the first date and you're like, so this is...
This is a job
I asked
interview.
my husband on
We're
the
back
first
to the job
date.
interview.
I asked my husband on the first date, and it was like, so he said,
what are
he
you
had
looking
been-
for? I asked that, like, what are you looking for? Like,
That's what I asked too. And then I'm like,
I'm looking for a drink.
yeah, okay. But okay, I asked him about marriage on the first date. So
no,
for
I
example,
did not ask that, but
But let me tell you how I did it though. You got to be smart about how you ask it, right?
Finish.
10
So
seconds.
yeah, so I asked him. I said like, we were having drinks, and then I'm like, oh, so you've been divorced twice. I'm like, so are you ever gonna be willing to marry again, or is this something that now they've been divorced twice, like you're done and over with? And then he's like, no, if I found the right person. I'm like, yeah, me too. I'm like, because this is something I believe in, and this is something I want. So yes, I will definitely be willing to get married again.
And that's kind of where we fall back on as far as boundaries go. It's like you establish those boundaries early, and you can hold on to those. Even it doesn't matter how much oxytocin is going on. You'd be like, I remember I set this boundary a long time. I gotta adhere to it. Adhere to your boundaries. So then
Make a list, maybe.
Make a list.
Yeah, not a
Review
complaint
it in,
list. but
Review it in
yeah.
3 months. Check
Oh,
it out.
God.
Yeah, and be like,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Good.
God, my poor
All
husband.
right. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thank
This
you.
was
Thank
great.
you so much. It was a pleasure
yeah, thanks
being
for
here
having us.
with you
It's a
all.
lot of fun. We could just put another 2 hours. Sorry, Nathan, we're not doing it, but we
Next
could.
time we'll bring the wine, Glenn. You promised
Yeah,
next time.
next time is
Yes.
we need a
Next
wine.
Next time we'll have
Yeah.
wine and
And some
Buckle
treats.
up. Buckle up.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Some treats and charcuterie board or something.
Yeah, charcuterie board, wine. Yeah, we're gonna do this at a bar.
I love
Oh my
it.
God, yes, we should do it.
Whether you're a man rebuilding after loss or a woman reflecting on what you truly want, the heart of today's conversation is this. Real connection starts with self-awareness and respect. If you found value here, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that love, the healthy, lasting kind, is worth preparing for. This is Glen Gilbert, and you've been listening to the Glen Gilbert Connection. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building the connections that matter. Thank you all for joining me.